boot camp culminates with an event known.
Oh man, that dude ruined it. He should have just let them sing. That sounded super good. Yeah, so they're going to the culmination of all boot camp. They're going to battle stations. You know, everyone has that. Every boot camp has that final test at the end, regardless of branch. And for the Navy, it's battle station. It's going to be the culmination of all your training. You're going to go to a ship that was created by like Universal Studios or Disneyland. I can't remember. It was built a little while ago. It does a great job. It does a great job simulating a lot of stuff. Definitely, it's not a one-to-one. They're like the hallways, P-ways. They're much wider. They're not a real ship, but that's just for training purposes. Anything that's not accurate is for training purposes, but to be able to like maneuver around and get stuff done. But it's super accurate. Everything you learn in boot camp is going to be put to the test. If you fail this, bad day. It really depends for at the time or why you failed and what's going on. But it could be either ASMO. You're going to ASMO and you might miss graduation. Really depends. You might do battle stations on Sunday. You might do it on Wednesday or Thursday, and graduation is going to be on Friday. If you fail on Sunday, maybe they'll ASMO you to another division to try again. If it was like a failure for, whatever the reason was, it was one of those, yeah, we could try it again. You just sucked at this. Get some more training and then get ready. And so you do it with another division kind of thing. But if it comes to the point where if you fail like on a Thursday, graduation's Friday, you're not graduating that Friday. Your family that bought those tickets, not coming out. You're going to have to wait, go to another division that's going to take it the following week, and then you'll graduate then if you pass then. So definitely stay motivated, stay focused, get your team around you motivated and focused, get stuff done.
As battle stations, it happens inside this building, which may not look like much from the outside, but inside, the recruits encounter this. The USS Trayer. It's a 2/3 scale replica of a Navy destroyer ship designed and built by companies that created attractions for Walt Disney World.
It was Walt Disney World. I got it wrong. I thought it was Universal Studios. Either way, yeah, like you look at a picture of a destroyer, you look at this, it's just smaller is all. It's scaled down. Super accurate. The way you maneuver and go through it. The insides are not exactly one-to-one as far as when it comes to moving on a destroyer, but the insides are designed to have the compartments and stuff set up so you can do evolutions and training and the tests and everything like that. But yeah, this is outside of what a destroyer looks like, really.
Battle stations is an accumulation of every training evolution you've done throughout basic, mixed with a little bit of sleep deprivation. So I think it's the closest thing any of us are going to get to what being on a ship's like.
Yeah, outside of actually being on a ship, 100% true. Sleep deprivation. When you wake up that morning, you will not go to bed until the next day night at all. There is no sleeping. So even if you pass battle stations, you still have to make it through the whole other day. There's still stuff you got to do. So the whole thing is a test. It's a 48-hour test.
Although the Navy agreed to let our crew film parts of the battle stations event, we weren't allowed to show major details of the scenarios.
Yeah, because even when you go through, you sign what's called a page 13. So the Navy, at least, I don't know if other branches have it, have a document called the page 13. Page 13 states that I understand what has been told to me. It's a legal document. So if you were told, hey, you will never wear the color purple, you're not allowed to wear the color. I'm just making this up, by the way, this rule. But let's say you're not allowed to wear the color purple. You will sign a page 13 that says, I understand. I was told I cannot wear the color purple, and that was told to me, and I understand. I sign here. So now, if you wear the color purple and be like, you're not supposed to wear it, you're in trouble now. And you'd be like, you can't say, well, no one ever told me. And then you can be like, hey, here's this page 13 that says, you said that you understood these rules and you were told them, so you're lying. And the same thing happens here with battle stations. One of the page 13s that you signed for battle stations says, I will not talk about battle stations to anyone other than those who have gone through battle stations. And I will not talk about it with that other person unless there's no one around listening that hasn't, it's got to be like no one's listening in kind of a thing. So I'm not going to talk about battle stations. I'm not the events, at least. I'm going to tell you it's a culmination of everything you've learned through boot camp. So, I can say that, but I cannot tell you the events. I can't talk about those or I'd be in trouble. So it's the same thing for anyone else. And obviously they just told them, hey, no, they vetted this video. They're like, no. You're not going to share. Like the whole point is it's supposed to be a test. And if you already know the test and the answers to the test, then it's not a test at that point. This is a pass-fail evolution. Either you're going to pass or you're going to fail. That's it. There is somewhat of a grade, but in the end, it's the important part is, did you pass? So yeah, they're not going to show it because that would just ruin the whole experience. There's no point. It's a shock and awe. And what are you going to do? Think on your feet, go. You've been trained to do this. React, let's go.
Or solutions to the problems recruits have to solve.
So it goes over 17 different scenarios, from firefighting to seamanship, first aid. So all of those combined into one special night.
A special and long night. Recruits are not allowed to sleep during the event.
Doors go.
I do not. Who are you telling?
I do not
Are
care.
you telling me? Are you telling Petty Officer? Or are you telling your CLS? Tell the CLS!
Doors go, CLS.
When they say when you get to fleet, you gotta be able to handle sleep deprivation, you really do. You have to be able to handle doing the right thing, even when it's very stressful, even when you're cold, wet, tired, sleepy, and even when your peers may not be in the right mindset either.
So teamwork and motivation, that's the main point. Teamwork, motivation, and then what do you do when you're tired? Because, you know, the ship can catch on fire in the middle of the night. What are you gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna get a few more hours and then I'll deal with the fire? No, you just gotta deal with it. There's no one else who's gonna deal with it. The whole ship is gonna react. It's not like, oh, these 5 guys are the firefighters, they'll take care. No, the whole ship is the firefighting team. Why would you even let that? You know, you're in the middle of the ocean. You don't really want to have that problem in the middle of the ocean. You want to deal with it right away. So that's the whole point of this, really.
The first scenario we saw involved a burst water pipe in a room full of ammunition shells that recruits had to move while trying to patch the pipe.
If you can't do it alone, ask for help.
That's wild. This is one of the scenarios. So, I mean, I'm not going to talk about it. There's just a video that's on Business Insider that they put. I'm assuming the Navy vetted this, but that's messed up. This is one of the scenarios. They definitely should not be showing this whatsoever. So I'm not really going to comment about anything. I'll let them comment on it, but that's messed up. That's ruining the experience. So I don't know. I think Business Insider messed up, and whoever's job it was to vet this messed up. I don't think this is a good idea. I do not agree with this whatsoever.
They use their firefighting skills to put out a fire that breaks out on board.
See, that's fair. You already knew you were going to fight a fire because it's firefighting skills. You went through firefighting. You train it not just that one time, that one school. You train it consistently. Your RDCs will bring you to trainer rooms and consistently be making sure your skills are well practiced in muscle memory and form. So, you know, you could probably guess there's going to be a fire. That's messed up that they showed that previous one. I really don't agree with that. That is just my personal opinion, though.
We have all the sound effects, the lighting, the smoke, just because we want to make sure it's as realistic as possible. Once you go out to the ship, if there was ever, you know, emergency situation that happened, we want to kind of reflect that here.
We were allowed to film inside one of the training areas built to resemble the damage suffered by the USS Cole in the deadly attack in October of 2000, with details down to the clock on the wall, which is stopped on the minute the real attack occurred. But when the scenario starts, recruits don't notice such details.
People are dying! People are dying!
They have to locate and evacuate a casualty through thick smoke, over obstacles, and in total darkness.
Some people like working under stress because they say pressure either produces diamonds or it bursts pipes.
It was really fun. I would definitely do it again, maybe after a full night's rest, but I would 100% do battle stations again. It's a night I will never forget.
Yeah, it's a great night. I mean, like I said, it's the final test, and he's saying he had a good time. That means he probably did. He and his team did well, which is good. You're supposed to do well. You've been trained for it, so hopefully you do. No one wants you to fail this. This is the final test, and then you're considered sailors, except for the point of graduation. You're considered sailors at that point. They'll show it here in a second, but you swap out your recruit ball cap that you've been wearing all boot camp. You put on a Navy ball cap, showing that you are now a sailor. With the only thing you're missing is graduation itself. But yeah, you're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to be focused, right? Some things might not be fun. Some things suck. You know, it's a job in the end. You're not going to enjoy 100% of your job. But if you had fun and you're motivated the whole time, which is keep each other motivated because you're going to be tired, your adrenaline's going to go up and then down, and then up and then down, and you're going to be exhausted. And you're staying up all night on top of that. Yeah, it could be extremely tiring. But if you're all motivated the whole time and you just do the right thing and you're killing it, it can be extremely fun. Obviously, if it was a real thing, it wouldn't be very fun because that's bad what you're fighting, like the hole inside the ship for the coal. But for a training evolution, why not?
After battle stations is complete, recruits line up in front of the USS Trayer to receive their Navy ball cap, symbolizing their transition from recruits to Navy sailors.
Yeah, so this is the part where the RDCs go around and they hand you your Navy ball cap. And I'd go around, I'd shake hands and look them in the face, and I would say, "Good job." I meant it. They passed. That was the standard, and they met it for the basically trained sailor. Right? There's still more to come. There's still more training to happen. But at this point, this is what everything was, a culmination of everything you learned. This is the whole goal, and you met it. And that was like the first time I would ever I have physical contact with the crew, and it would just be shaking their hand, looking in the face, and like full on meaning it. Good job, you did it. And some people would just start breaking down crying. I felt a little emotional too. It's cool, you've been working with them, 12 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for months, and then you see them finally accomplish it, and you feel proud for them too, man. It's a good feeling. And if you go through and you're watching this video and you're about to go through boot camp and you go through this point and you're about to cry, let it out. Those are tears of joy. You accomplished it. You earned it at that point.
They realize everything that they have done thus far, all the blood, sweat, and tears they shed. They finally earned their Navy ball cap, and it's a proud moment for all of them.
Look at that, tears of joy. Hell yeah, they deserve it. They show this video after you put your Navy ball cap on. Before or after? I'm pretty sure it's after. And it's just this, it's this video with uprising music and like jets are taking off and explosions are happening, and then explain to you, like some people are like being interviewed and saying how they're proud of being in the Navy. That video gets me too sometimes, because you just had that momentous occasion right there, whereas like, you accomplish it and then you watch this like glorified, crazy, over the top video with crazy music going on. It feels good. It does really feel good.
It was extremely emotional. I was definitely more proud of that than anything I've ever done before. Nothing compares to that moment.
Friends and family gather to witness their new sailors graduate.
So they went from week 8 to week 10. So yes, boot camp is currently, as of making this video, 10 weeks now. So at week 8, you're finalized with that training, and then you have 2 weeks of sailorization. I believe that's what they call it. But it's 2 weeks of like teaching you basic things about, hey, you're in the Navy now. This is how you should act in public. This is the things that you're, it's more like a one-on-one time with RDCs, and it's a schedule out thing. They have topics to specifically talk about. It was built up for multiple years of like, hey, what should we tell new sailors when they're going out? Some people, this is their first full-paying job. Some people have these annotations or connotations in their head about what it should be. In reality, it's how to act like a sailor out in public, and also some of the scams that people do to new sailors all the time. Like very, really bad. It's really scummy. There's people out there that will look for people who are in the military and just try to sell you stuff and make it look like a great deal. Why? Because you're a guaranteed paycheck for those so many years. They know that you're going to pay, and if you don't pay, they contact the military and they take it away from your pay before it even goes into your pocket. So they know they're going to get their money, and it's like things with crazy interest rates or like locked in contracts, and it's really, really messed up. Some of them are just straight up illegal, and if you'll get so the Navy will fight that contract, be like, hey, no, what you did was illegal, and then on top of that, you yourself will get in trouble. So this is just common practices, things to stay away from, and how to act in public, either in or out of uniform, and things to watch out for. It's good 2 weeks. It's preparing you to transition back to civilian life and going out to the fleet kind of stuff.
Before joining the fleet,
you see the change. You have some recruits that you never thought they were going to make it past training. But once they graduate and you see that, wow, they grasp the point of this, they're going to be out there, out in the fleet. It's really rewarding.
It's extremely rewarding. Being an RDC was probably one of the most rewarding things I've done in the Navy. I'm a technician, so it's mostly I just do maintenance and stuff, and it's very rarely will things break, and if they do, you fix it, and it feels good. You're like, yes, but that very rarely happens. You're just basically just doing maintenance. You get wins by like getting qualifications, getting higher qualifications and stuff like that. But even then, those are, you knock out a lot in the beginning, and then later on you get those advanced ones. It doesn't happen as often. When you're an RDC, you take, 80 to 100 people that are in civilian clothes, messed up haircuts, can't even march. And then 2.5 to 3 months later, they're all marching out. You saw how good they looked, and they're all wearing their dress uniforms. They're all marching together in unison. They look good, looking sharp. And you're like, I was part of that experience. I'm proud of that happened. And you get to see the product of that. You know, it's extremely rewarding. It's so cool. It really is. If you ever think about being RTC and you wonder why people do it, or like why they're so motivated to do it, it's because of that. The payout is almost instant. You work really hard. 3 months later, you get to see that result, and they're happy, you're happy, they look good, and you were part of that process, and it's just extremely rewarding.
Seeing recruits come off the bus with long hair, not knowing their left to
Is this
the
dude
right,
about to say
not
the same
knowing
thing I
how
did?
to wear a uniform, and seeing that transition that they make from a civilian to a recruit to a sailor is truly eye-watering and truly a blessing.
Hell yeah, totally agree with that, Master Chief. Everything I just said, he said it too. It really is true. Like that's, if ever I tell people who say want to become an RDC, I say it's extremely tough, but it's so rewarding when it comes to stuff like this. But it's still extremely tough.
That day I left. That day I left. My daddy said. I shook my daddy's hand. He said that I. He said that I become a man. I become a man. Oh, we, oh, we, oh, we, oh, we, oh, we, oh, we, oh, we.
Such a great song. But I loved teaching my recruits that. It's such a good song. But yeah, that wraps up this video. About to finish up also the video I'm making for another story time when I was in RDC with the animation. It's taking me off for that. And I also have another interview coming out. Don't forget to leave a comment below. And if you have any questions, Hoo-yah Navy.